Howdy guys, OldDW here, back at the workbench. Got the Crosman 100 year anniversary edition out. Gonna show you my first mod. The biggest complaint I had right from the beginning was when I shouldered it, it just felt a little short. It was a little bit scrunched, and it still kind of is. This grip for my hands, see how far my finger protrudes? It really should come right to the middle of my pad of my finger, but it's a little too short, so I'm choking it up too much. But I can't really fix that. That's not something that I'm gonna, change the pistol shape to fix, but I can add a little length of pole. So I went ahead and I got a spare piece of walnut and added it in there with a strip of brass plate to serve as a little accent piece, because I found that while I did have some walnut and I have a couple of spare pieces that weren't big enough, the only piece I did have that was big enough, I couldn't orient the grain correctly. You see, it's pretty clearly they cut this with the grain like you're supposed to give it strength through this part of the stock and the pistol action. But here, it's crossways, it's perpendicular. And you can see that kind of in the way those pores are open up. But it's just a thin strip, and I stained it pretty dark, maybe too dark, as you can see, to make it look as good as I can. So it could be better, but it does make it feel a whole lot nicer. And I went with the thickest brass plate I could find. I think it's like, a 1/16 of an inch or something. And it's really nice. I think it matches the gold aesthetics of the trigger and the bolt handle. And now you put that recoil pad on. It's really nice. Fits me just perfect. So, short and sweet. This is a quick one. If you want to get a nice little addition to your 362, a brass plate and some walnut, a couple hours worth of work. I recommend taking this butt pad off and marking your lines first. Get your lines first on a piece of paper, and then tape the piece of paper to your wood. That way you're not worried about, rubbing up on something and damaging your line. That double-sided tape, or just glue the piece of paper to your wood, it'll come right off with some alcohol before you prep to glue all this up. And I did just epoxy the brass plate to the walnut, and then of course drilled holes through it so I can still use the locating screws in the bottom of the stock. But it came together really nicely. I used a belt sander to, finish it off and make it nice and even. Masking tape on the edges and some fine grit sandpaper to do the final smoothing. And then of course I just did a little bit of gel stain. Dark walnut gel stain, and as you can see, it came out a little darker. I didn't know exactly what they had done, but looks all right for me. So that's all for now.